Since the inauguration, that we have a massive effort going on when it comes to MAGA to defund Black America. They are attacking academics, they're attacking health, they're attacking nonprofits, they're attacking the economic infrastructure, they're attacking the civil rights infrastructure. This Louisiana Cali decision could wipe out one-third of the Congressional Black Caucus. It could take out numerous Black state senators, state representatives, county commissioners, city councilmen, school board members all across the South. And the Republican Party, that's what they want. They are afraid of Black political power, and they are attacking all of this because they want, frankly, Jim Crow 2.0.
I've often observed that while Jim Crow may be dead, he's got some nieces and nephews that are alive and well, running around the country trying to seize power. We want to move the country forward. They clearly are trying to turn back the clock. We want to bring people together. They are regularly trying to tear us apart. And we, of course, have always believed in truth and reconciliation. These extremists want to erase Black history, erase civil rights history, but we're not going to let them do it because Black history, we know, is American history, and we need to lean into that history now more than ever. The lessons that we learned from Dr. King, from John Lewis, from Fannie Lou Hamer, from Rosa Parks and others, they showed up, they stood up, they spoke up for what they knew was right to try to make this country the best version of herself. They had the character, the courage, and the conviction to face down Jim Crow, vicious racism, and authoritarianism in the Deep South. But now, of course, you got some people within this administration, inspired by the person who actually is sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, who want to rip away all of the progress that has been made. We cannot let it happen. We're going to make sure that there are free and fair elections in November. And because there will be free and fair elections in November, we're going to make sure we take back control of the House of Representatives.
Well, Donald Trump the other day said that the Civil Rights Act was hurtful to whites in this country. I gave a speech to the city of Dallas MLK gala on Saturday, and I made this statement. Anthony, go to my iPad, and there's a guy who's running for Congress, last name Zishan. He actually posted this on his social media, and I said, "Are you going to stand with Dr. King, or are you going to stand with someone that wants to be a king?" And that's what we're dealing with. Donald Trump has no respect for Congress. He has no respect for laws, no respect for the judiciary, no respect for anything. He told the New York Times the only thing stopping him, he said he can do whatever he wants. The only thing stopping him is his own morality. And so he has no respect whatsoever. And so, what do you say to people in terms of how Democrats are going to counter him and that MAGA agenda this year in 2026? And what should folks be focusing on in these primaries and, of course, the general election?
What's important to us, you've got affordability and you've got accountability. On the affordability side, listen, Donald Trump was able to lie his way back into office by promising that he was going to lower costs on day one. Costs haven't gone down, costs have gone up. Life is more expensive in the United States of America. Trump tariffs are imposing thousands of dollars of additional costs, and he's done nothing to lower the high cost of living. We'll focus on that to try to bring about a country where when you work hard and play by the rules, you can live a comfortable life, an affordable life, and a good life. And we define that clearly: good paying job, good housing, good health care, good education for your children, and a good retirement, which means keep your hands off Social Security and Medicare. At the same period of time, there's got to be accountability. Congress, as you know, Roland, you talk about this often, is not supposed to be a rubber stamp for the president's extreme agenda in this case, but a check and balance on an out of control executive branch. Now, even though we're in the minority, we've been governing in many instances as if we were in the majority, including earlier this month, forcing an up or down vote on a straightforward extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years, and got 17 Republicans to join with every single Democrat. Our view is that we have a broken healthcare system. We've got to fix it. We got to roll back the cuts that they've made to Medicaid, roll back the cuts that they've made to nutritional assistance. They literally rip food out of the mouths of hungry children, seniors, and veterans. And they did that as part of their one big ugly bill so they can enact massive tax breaks for their billionaire donors. We're going to focus on everyday Americans, working class Americans, and middle class Americans.
Couple more minutes left, and I'll ask you this here. What African Americans are also asking is, in terms of, let's say Democrats regain the House in November. Let's say you win that back. Black folks are saying, hey, how are you going to speak to our agenda? The reality is you need significant black support in a lot of these congressional races, especially these U.S., also on the U.S. Senate side, races in Georgia, in North Carolina. You got race in Texas as well. And so, what do you say to them of what that's going to look like, what that agenda is going to look like? Because what we continue to hear from people is they say, hey, Democrats want black folks to show up, but Democrats got to show up for black folks.
Absolutely. And listen, we've got to have a robust racial justice agenda and economic justice agenda. On the racial justice side, clearly, some of the things that need to happen is to shore up the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act, the efforts to roll back the progress that has been made right at the top of the list. On that side of the agenda, of course, will be passing the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Enhancement and Advancement Act, which is designed to address what the Supreme Court already did back in 2013 when they struck a blow against Section 5. And we've got to watch what the Supreme Court may try to do in the Louisiana case. We expect to hear from them over the next couple of months, but we are prepared to respond decisively, particularly when we get the gavels back. On the economic justice side, I think there are really three areas where we have to lean in on behalf of Black America, Brown America, communities of color, but certainly within the African American community. That's entrepreneurship, that's homeownership, and that's access to capital. We know that the 1963 March on Washington, its full name was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. It was about both civil rights, of course, eventually voting rights in terms of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, but also an economic justice agenda. And we've never been able to fully bring that to life. And in order to do it, we've got to ensure that our communities can be successful economically and self-dependent on the community as opposed to being reliant on anyone else. And that's something that we'll strive to accomplish, build upon with an aggressive agenda in that economic justice space.
Last question for you. As I said, I gave the speech in Dallas on Saturday night. While there, I dropped by Friendship West Baptist Church, where Reverend Frederick Haynes III is the pastor. They had an MLK teach-in. Anthony, go to my iPad. They had an MLK teach-in. They're planning this Freedom Summer there. They're planning to really focus on voter mobilization. That's also the church where one of your House members goes, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She was in Marshall, Texas over the weekend. Do you plan to endorse in that Democratic primary her race, but also the congressional race that Freddie Haynes is in?
I generally don't get involved in open seat primaries, certainly in the context of House races, but I know the Reverend Dr. Freddie Haynes well. He'll be an amazing member of Congress. I've been to Friendship Baptist Church events, grew up in the Cornerstone Baptist Church, as I mentioned, and Freddie Haynes used to come preach revival every single year in Brooklyn when Harry Starks Wright was my pastor. And so I look forward to serving with the Reverend Dr. Freddie Haynes. He'll be an amazing member of Congress. And as it relates to Jasmine, no one should underestimate her. She's running hard, and I think she brings a lot to the table. And I support all of my colleagues in the House Democratic Caucus, and will do anything that I can do to help her be successful in this primary. And if she makes it through the primary, of course, in the general election.
So I just want to be clear. So you're endorsing Freddie Haynes and Jasmine Crockett?
Well, I haven't formally gotten involved in any of those races. I'll defer to Freddie Haynes and Jasmine Crockett as to the appropriate way for me to weigh in. I'll leave it to the candidates in that regard. I don't want to preempt anything that may be forthcoming, but I think the positive feelings that I have for both speaks for itself.
All right then. So, as a Texas voter and somebody who actually votes, I'm a constituent of Congressman Jasmine Crockett. I'll be waiting to see how that happens. All right, Congressman Jeffries, we appreciate it. And to Scott Bolden, if he's watching, I keep telling him I don't mind Kappas coming on my show. I have grace and mercy.
Have grace and mercy. I appreciate you. You're a good alpha brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.